Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's Loot Drop Podcast. Thank you for joining me for episode 21. Now, I know our content has been a little weird for the last couple weeks while we were waiting on our good friend Rathagen to just kind of get himself situated. We should be resuming our normal content schedule shortly, and with both of our hosts on the air. But that should be within the next couple weeks. So you only got to deal with me for a little while longer. But seeing as right now we are dealing with me, I want to take this week to talk about some stuff that I want to talk about. And since I'm the only one here, I'm going to do it. I'm sorry about that, Wrath. I'm going to dive right into the deep end of forbidden topics. I want to talk about Destiny 2, how it's been feeling, and just my own personal opinions on what Bungie are doing with the game right now. So, they've had some pretty massive PvP changes and adjustments this season overall, and Trials of Osiris has really been a focal point from that. So 3 weeks ago now, Trials came back into Season 15 of Destiny 2 for the highest population of that playlist that Destiny has ever seen. Ever. And then on top of that, Destiny 2 recently was the third most played game on Steam. Like, I think only outmatched by maybe Rocket League and CSGO was one of them. I forget what the other one was. But that's insane. The Destiny 2 was the third most played game on Steam. That's gigantic. And so the population difference in the game has definitely been felt in through the gameplay. I know I've been having a blast playing Trials. It doesn't make it any less hard. It doesn't make it any less grindy. But it is making it enjoyable. I'd say that. It is making it enjoyable. And so that's what I've been grinding. I've been grinding out Trials, and they're doing a really, really good job with story and narrative. Right now in Destiny 2, the story and narrative is better in-game than it's ever been. And then we're coming up on the Witch Queen, coming in February. The Witch Queen, I believe, is coming up in February, and they have a little release thing coming in December to tide folks over, but the Witch Queen looks fantastic. Whole new biomes that we've never fought in. We're gonna have Hive Guardians, so actual PvE enemies throwing Guardian-like supers. I think that's gonna have really, really interesting connotations when it comes to the raid. Speaking of the raids, we ran Vault of Glass this last weekend with one of our good buddies on the channel, Ashley Draws. We're trying to get her the Vex Mythoclast. We haven't gotten it yet, but we're going to try it again this week. We're going to try to get in some runs for her to try to get that drop for the weapon, because it is destroying in PvP right now. I just finished the Catalyst up, and that's actually what I was using in Trials yesterday, was that with the sniper rifle. And you can just eat with that gun. When with the Catalyst, you basically get Rampage light, you get a stability buff, and you get an accuracy buff after getting a kill. You don't have to do anything. Just getting a kill bumps up the weapon, and you absolutely feel it. It turns into an absolute... It's a fusion rifle, so it's already a laser, but it turns into an absolute laser, just dumpstering folks. Another game we've been playing is Final Fantasy XIV. In Final Fantasy XIV, we just hit the end of Shadowbringers, which is the most recent expansion, in preparation for Endwalker, the new expansion coming out in November. And I'm finally at a point where we can start moving into the end game of Final Fantasy, and I'm super excited to see what the end game rating, end game gear grind looks like, and mount grinding. We got to get those cosmetics. But if you were thinking about getting into Final Fantasy, I was watching the GG Over Easy podcast today, and Blue Westlow, shout out to him. He really put it so well, and that when you're playing Final Fantasy, you really have to treat each expansion like its own game. And if you play through it like that, you'll have a lot more of an enjoyable time. But that's really a game where it's worth doing that, because you get to dive into the story and you really get to to delve into it. And that game's done such a good job of just making me care about the characters and making me really want to know, like, where's the story going, what's happening, what is this character doing, what's up with this person. Literally, that game, Final Fantasy 14, is literally for me firing on. I was bemoaning all weekend. Like, I was playing Trials, I'm trying to get flawless this last weekend, and all weekend I was like, I mean, I guess I'm doing this, but I'd really rather be playing Final Fantasy 14, because I really would have rather been playing Final Fantasy 14. I can't recommend that game enough. If you even think you might want to try out an MMO, it's super respectful of your time. It's super respectful of what you put into it, and I can't recommend it enough. I really really can't. Um, and while we're talking about it, I know Wrath has moved over to YouTube. Wrath has moved his personal stream over to YouTube. That's exclusively where he is streaming now. And I'm dipping my toes in. I haven't full yeeted over to YouTube. I stream on YouTube through the week, and then I do Twitch on the weekends. And there were a lot of folks saying, like, I don't know if that's a good idea. I don't know if YouTube is going to be the way to go. And YouTube is really taking an interest in live streaming. They've invested. They brought over Dr. Lupo. They brought over Tim the Tatman. They have Courage JD. They have Dr. Disrespect. Now, they didn't take Dr. Disrespect. He went there out of necessity. But they have such a good cast of like super high profile content creators, that they're really going to start building traction. And it's a goal of YouTube to compete in that space. Now, when you look at market share, I think you see more live streaming watched on Twitch than any other platform. That right now is not debatable. It isn't. It's not even close. But when you look at the population of the platforms, Twitch has around 28 million active users. YouTube has around 2 billion per day. Now, those are very big numbers, but the gravity of those numbers is actually insane. It's actually insane. And so I've been streaming over on YouTube, like I said, throughout the week, and seeing those numbers and that pull in action on my videos is something that's incredible. So my typical stream on Twitch, like I would say I usually have somewhere between 8 and 13 people on Twitch watching, throughout the duration, in and out. And then it'll have folks like that are just scrolling through directory, and they stop in and they, maybe they say something, maybe they don't, but they'll stop in, hop out, whatever. But typically, I'll see around 30 to 40 people have stopped by and saw my stream on a day, usually when I'm live on Twitch. Yesterday, for my YouTube stream, I got 146 views while I was live. Like, while I was live, 146 people clicked the thumbnail. And then on top of that, I went in further to look at it. The thumbnail for my going live post, 1,600 people. It reached 1,600 people. That level of discoverability is going to be a crux of YouTube really coming forth in the space and really being a place that content creators want to be. I really honestly think within the next 3 to 4 years that if you're live streaming, you're going to want to be on YouTube. Because the other thing about YouTube is that YouTube is a platform that's originally built for watching on demand, for content that you watch on demand. And Twitch has that functionality, and they have VODs, but VODs only last for so long. And then on top of that, Twitch doesn't really have a culture built up around going back and watching VODs. That's not really something Twitch does. That's not really something that Twitch is focused on. Twitch is focused on having that event, having that moment, and I think you're going to very quickly see YouTube come to a place where you can have that, have your cake and eat it too, in that regard. Like, one of the largest comments that I heard when I first started, like, regularly uploading to YouTube for live content, that is that folks didn't like that, like, if on mobile, you couldn't watch the stream and type in the comments or the chat. If you did, it takes the content off the screen, and that really breaks immersion for a viewer. Not everyone hated it. Well, they've already fixed that. They've already adjusted that. They are literally on a weekly basis bringing new changes to YouTube to just bring it up to parity with Twitch. And that's not to say Twitch isn't also doing some cool things, but Twitch also has a lot of drama associated with it and just a lot of stress that I don't think you see as much on YouTube. With that being said, YouTube also has things on that platform that are also stressful. Like on Twitch, I follow Twitch's terms of service, and I have not gotten any copyright strikes. I've not gotten anything, like that, because I'm careful about what I'm putting out and what content I'm creating. But on YouTube, because they have those bots that, comb through YouTube, they will flag pretty much anything at any given time. And some of it's malarkey, and if it's malarkey, you just dispute it and you move on with your life, right? But that could be super, super stressful if my channel were to get to a point where it was like actually able to be monetized, or that became my primary platform. I think there is something to be said for having your content on multiple platforms, having your bases covered. I don't think is a bad thing. Anything can happen. You can be banned at any time for any given reason, and so if you're removed from one platform, you want to have another place where you can, tend to your community and say hello to folks and hang around, right? You want to be able to have that available. Now Twitch is rolling out a couple cool things. Like, they have follower emotes coming on top of your subscriber emotes, and I think that's super, super cool. I think that gives an incentive for someone to hit that follow button initially, just so they get access to those fun emotes, and then it invites them into that community, and then they can, see if they want to hang around, if they want to stick around, and then if they want to, and with that being said, I'm definitely a content creator that's wholly of the opinion that any content I put out online on the internet is free. It's absolutely free. With that being said, do I appreciate absolutely everything that anyone has ever donated, tipped, subbed to, or through Patreon? Thank you again, Dark Tower. I appreciate the hell out of you guys, and I know I can speak for Rathogen when I say he also appreciates the hell out of his supporters. That's definitely not what I'm saying, but it's not a requisite for us doing what we do. We go live, we hit that go live button because we like to do it. And finding a platform like YouTube right now, like in the early stages, where you don't have hate rates. Like, there is no functionality to send your channel over to someone else, right? And so you don't have this systemic issue that Twitch is having, where they have these hate raids, and you have to be watching your chat, and you see someone come in, and if the name, it looks weird or anything, you have to click that profile, but not click into the profile, but you just have to click the profile and look like, when was this created? And you have to be like, oh, well, this was created this month. This is probably a bot. And that's bad from a creator standpoint, because inevitably, there are there are new accounts being onboarded every day on any given platform, right? But you could be a new member of a community. You could just have all the good intentions of the world, but because of these bots on Twitch, you have to be hyper vigilant that you don't have someone trying to come in and be a bad actor and really expose your community to just a bunch of vitriol. We went through that issue ourselves on our Discord, and I want to take a moment. Thank you, DJ Mac. Thank you, Green Ninja 998. Our Discord got what's the word I'm looking for? Infringed on by one of these hate raiders, by one of these folks that gets a kick out of just spewing filth on the internet. And DJ and Ninja were deleting posts as fast as they could possibly go up, and I, without their help, there would have been no way to manage what was going on. So it took like 2 days. So we locked the Discord server down. We had to purge it. Like anyone that couldn't be immediately spoken for by a member of the Discord went, right? And then if someone reached back out and they were like, hey, why did I get removed? We talked to them, make sure they were on the up and up, make sure we knew where they were coming from, and we'd get them an invite back in. But we had really steady growth on our personal Discord for our content prior to that happening, and that growth came to a grinding halt just because of the actions of a couple bad actors on the internet. And I don't know if those folks are doing it for clout or if it really is just a game to them. But the real world impact of those hate raids and just dealing with that is it's so incredibly frustrating to deal with. Just on a very real, like, human level, it's so incredibly frustrating to have folks come in and just put the worst of humanity out on full display proudly. That's the worst feeling to have your community and, the show that you're trying to put off. Because when you go live, like, you want to have your show. You want to have what you're projecting to your audience. You want to have the vibes that you're putting out be good vibes. You want people to be comfortable and to feel safe hanging out in your community. And when you have folks come in and invade a community like that, it removes that feeling of safety. And then you have folks that not feel as good staying and hanging around. I'd really like to see Twitch come up with a solution, but it's a hard situation to tangle with. Because the harder that Twitch makes it for a new user to make an account and watch a stream and say hello, the harder it's going to be on the streamers on that platform to support themselves on that platform. It needs to be easy for a person to come on, make an account, and say hello, but you have to balance that with limiting how many bots a person can create. And there are any number of ways to, I think, go about it, but I'm not a developer. I'm not a web developer, and I'm not going to pretend like I know what the best solution is. But we have to do something better than what we're doing now. Because for right now, I've really enjoyed having super chill YouTube streams, hanging out with chatting with folks, gaming, no BS, no malarkey, and you can see how you're doing in real time. You can fully see what people are thinking of your content, what are your engagement numbers looking like, and you can go back, watch your previous clips with data and say, what did I do here and what did I do here? Why did this work? Why did this not work? And you can really curate is not the best word. You can criticize. You can give yourself constructive criticism based on empirical data using YouTube. And that is data that is just not available on Twitch. Twitch will tell you how many live viewers you had, how many chatters you had, and how many people stopped into the stream, and what your average viewers were. And that does not even come fractionally close to the data that YouTube will give you as soon as you upload a video. It's seriously, it's not even comparable. Like, in no way is it even remotely comparable. I want to know, what games have you guys been playing, and what games do you want to see Wrath and I playing? Wrath and I were already talking about a couple games that we want to do Let's Plays of when he gets back into the grind of things. I know he misses the absolute hell out of you guys. I know he misses his community. He will be back soon. TM. Soon, TM. He will be back. And we are looking forward to having him back. Scrambling for content like this can be a little murky. Guys, well, I apologize for the shorter episode, but I hope you appreciate this bite-sized bit of me absolutely rambling for the last 20 minutes. I think I covered what I wanted to cover. By the way, in what I covered. Oh, also, Halo has a new flight out right now for their Master Chief, or Halo 6, Halo 5, Halo 6. They have a new flight out for Halo 6. I don't know if Rathagen got invited. I know I did not, to the live gameplay session. We will be reporting on what the overall community thought of that, and we're going to be talking about that. What games would you guys like to see us talk about? What kind of news do you think you want to see here on this channel? Do you want to see more news? Do you want to see more Let's Plays? Do you want to see a balance of the two? Do you want to see both at the same time? We are open to suggestions on format and content. Guys, thank you so much for stopping in, taking a listen. And as always, please, if you like this content, make sure to like it. And if you really like this content, make sure that you subscribe. And if you really like this content, make sure that you hit the bell because YouTube's goofy and you might not get notifications just because you hit subscribe. And lastly, thank you so much to our patrons. Shout out to you, Dark Tower. We appreciate the hell out of you. You all have a great evening, and we will see you back here next week.